Old-timers used to exclaim over the beauty of South Twin Lake. Many rated it higher than North Twin Lake. The question is sometimes raised as to whether there would be any possibility of restoring South Twin Lake to anything like its former beauty. In the early 1900s, the farmers and other landowners of Calhoun County were very drainage conscious. Around 1906, due to agitation of the farmers of the area who wanted Gun Barrel Slough, located west of South Twin Lake, and even possibly South Twin Lake, turned into farmland, the Iowa State Executive Council cut through a dike that separated Gun Barrel Slough from Camp Creek, which is a short distance to the south and west, causing the slough to drain into Camp Creek. Camp Creek was dredged practically up to Pomeroy, Iowa, causing water that otherwise would have drained into and fed both North and South Lakes to be drawn off to the southwest. Another little-known factor that enters into the picture in connection with South Twin Lake may be of interest. In the 1930s, the Iowa State Conservation Commission, predecessor to the Iowa DNR, dredged the southern part of North Twin Lake and deposited 1,273,400 cubic yards of silt into South Twin Lake at the cost of $157,000. This, of course, did not do South Twin Lake any good. After this decimation of South Twin Lake and the failure of the swimming businesses on the South Twin Lake shores, it was made a game refuge, with no public hearings or local input. Fabulous stories are told of the size and amount of fish and ducks that were taken by sportsmen in earlier days prior to the silt dumping. People came from great distances to hunt and fish. Scores came from Des Moines, and some from as far away as Detroit. Another feature of South Twin Lakes is a curiosity. There has been much speculation as to the causeway running diagonally across the southern half of South Twin Lake. It extends from a point opposite the farm at the south end of the lake in a northeasterly direction toward Stony Point and the Twin Lakes Golf Club grounds. The formation is a bridge of stones and debris about the height and width of a road grade. Some believe it was constructed by the Native Americans living in the area many years prior. Others believe it was created by the glaciers. The verdict on this is still out. The Twin Lakes Golf Club grounds are relatively high. As early as the 1880s, a hotel was located on this high ground. Not much is known about it, and it disappeared from the scene in the early 1900s. For a few years in the 1900s, there was a modest resort on Stony Point. There was a roller coaster, toboggan run, and a bathing beach. Little seems to be known about it, or why it failed. On the high ground at Stony Point, it is thought that the Native Americans sometimes held powwows. It is interesting to think so, and there is some evidence from artifacts found there. In 1916, 16 Rockwell City families formed an organization and purchased Stony Point from Leroy Nation. They divided the land into lots and built cottages there, taking the name of the Rockwell City Country Club. In 1924, additional land was purchased and the group reorganized as a golf club. Other reorganizations have taken place in 1947 and 1963. The present name is the Rockwell City Golf and Country Club. South Twin Lake is now facing another threat to reduce its existence as a lake down to a swampy marsh. This is being spearheaded by Ducks Unlimited and the Iowa DNR. Their claim is that the lake is not usable in its present state. This may be true, but it is not because of the lake's unattractiveness. There are no decent boat or fishing accesses to this beautiful 600-acre lake. Lakes with water quality 10 times worse than South Twin Lakes have abundant campgrounds, boat accesses with launch docks, picnic shelters, and restrooms. This, we believe, is the real problem that faces South Twin Lake, not because it is too deep or the water being turbid. It is because there needs to be access to the lake for people to use and enjoy the lake.